Army of Two, and Steven Spielberg, the great film director, is working on 3 projects with our LA studio of new cutting-edge games. But no, I can't tell you any more about those today. In terms of sports, they're always going to be central to what we do within EA, because our public loves playing those sports games. Our job is to make them more realistic and more fun and more compelling. In terms of film, yes, we'll continue to work on film. Harry Potter is a great film franchise we work on. We have Lord of the Rings, and Superman Returns obviously came out this year as well for us on consoles. We'll continue to look at what films are sustainable moving forward in terms of engaging the public, wanting to play games, and that we can create compelling game experiences for those consumers. So, where are our studios worldwide? So you're sitting in our studio here in the UK today, but if you look, we have a studio here in LA. We've mentioned about the Spielberg projects coming out from there. EA Redwood Shores is our headquarters for our publishing divisions, our sales and marketing side. They work on also some studio games. They worked on The Godfather, worked on Tiger Woods, a very successful studio. EAC is our headquarters for our studio as opposed to our publishing side. They work on the majority of the sports franchises, the SXX snowboarding game. If you look at games like NBA and games like FIFA and Madden, they've come out of our EAC studio, and in fact Madden's gone down into America now. We've got a studio in Chicago, studio in Montreal, they're working on Army of Two for us, studio in Tiburon, and then within the UK we have our studio here, our central hub. So in terms of, let's give you an idea of some of those studios. Here it is. This is the Redwood Shores one, where the home of The Godfather. You can see here on the bay, Alcatraz is just a little bit further up. Hopefully some of you guys get to visit it. So that gives one flavour of one studio. As I said, they worked on The Godfather. And here we have EAC, EA Canada, home of the sports franchises, big building here, big football pitch, etc. Again, a good creative studio network. As we said, the famous SSX. How many of you guys have played that? Great, yeah, I can see, yeah, good. The next one, NBA. So, again, getting more and more popular in the UK, key American sports franchise, and of course we have FIFA made here from Canada. Here's Tiburon, over in Orlando. EA Los Angeles. Interestingly, this is the beachfront down here, so employees can come at lunchtime, just walk down to the beach. Again, home to the Spielberg projects and other interesting IPs coming forward. So let's give you an idea, a brief overview of who the key players are within EA. So we have Larry Prost, who's our Chief Executive Officer, our main man looking after the whole of EA. Paul Lee is the President of the studios. He looks after obviously all the studio network and makes sure our games are consistently coming out at a high quality and obviously earning the revenue we hope they do. Bing Gordon, obviously a legend within the industry and one of the founders of EA. He's our Chief Creative Officer. That means his job is to make sure and challenge that our games are living up to the expectations of being AAA titles. So if the game's not looking good, Bing will come in there and say, hey, geez, take that in a different direction. Warren Jensen is the man that obviously soothes and calms the markets, our main Chief Financial Officer. Obviously, critical in times of transition is to keep the markets up to speed with what we're doing financially and making sure they're well aware. But obviously, in the good times, great time to be the Chief Financial Officer and go out and tell what EA are doing. Gabrielle Toledano, new to EA, she's the head of our Human Resources division. Her job is to make sure that with the HR team that you have a great experience here at EA, to make sure you have the right training and development, to get the right autonomy, the responsibility, that your manager looks after you, etc. And make sure that your experience here is so compelling that hopefully you'll recommend that your family and friends come and work here as well. So we come over to here, the GM North of looking after America in terms of publishing, the sales and marketing, etc. is Frank Jabot. Over in Europe and Asia, Gerhard Florin, based in our Geneva headquarters for publishing in Europe, looks after that publishing team here. Then we look at Joel Lintzner, he looks after business and legal affairs for EA. Nancy Smith, Executive Vice President and Manager of the Sims franchise, one of our biggest, or actually our biggest and most successful franchise in EA. Nancy is a real driver in that, and looking after and working with the creative genius of Will Wright. Then on this side we have Mitch Lasky, Senior Vice President, and he looks after all of our mobile gaming side. Again, He was from Jamdat, has come in, made a significant input into the business, and is looking after our mobile gaming, one of our big growth areas. So in terms of, we have a roadmap at EA. We like to be open and honest of where this company is going and what it will do in the future. So we detail fully on this roadmap for 1 year what we're going to try and achieve with our people, with our products, what emerging opportunities there are, and the financial strength. So I'll give you a little bit of a flavour, but not spend too much time on this. So as a sort of vision, we want to create, and we believe that we're creating the world's greatest interactive entertainment. Interactive entertainment. So under people, we want to make sure that we create a great environment for you to work. We want to build exceptional teams that collaborate and share ideas. Not sharing ideas just in the UK, but let's share ideas over with our partners in Canada, over in LA, in Orlando, etc., and spending time working together and learning and developing together. Help everyone understand what is expected of them and what their role is within EA. And that's critical as well to make sure the managers are engaged and do that. And increase the frequency of the quality of the communications that we have. So not only from our exec teams, but our leaders within the business, let's all communicate strongly together. In terms of products, simple. We want to be number one on next generation consoles. We want to expand our portfolio of brand new games, new creative IP, intellectual property. We want to grow EA Sports and the leadership within it. We want to improve our brand perception in the marketplace by continuing to develop high-class quality games. Make online an essential core part of the driver of our business moving forward, and deliver 25 platinum titles that lead the industry. It's no good being number one in sales. We want to be number one in sales in terms of actual sales, but quality as well. Great games that you're just compelling and addictive that you sit there and play. In emerging opportunities, we've got launching our online gaming service called Pogo in China, Europe, and on the Xbox Live Arcade. Increasing mobile revenues by 75%. Yep, 75%. Ambitious goal within Europe and Asia. Generate revenue through digital downloads, microtransactions and the community. Improve our position with the massively multiplayer online gaming community. An area that we've perhaps been weaker at in the past, now is a focus as we move forward and grow our position in the industry. And continue looking at in-game advertising. So what can we do to make sure that the gaming experience stays pure and we're not disturbed by a lot of advertising all the time, but subtle in-game advertising that ultimately adds to the gameplay. So some of you are looking a little bit perplexed about adding advertising into it. So what do I mean by that? It's like games like FIFA. When you go to Stamford Bridge, home of Chelsea, you want to replicate. So when the gamer sees that in-game, it's got the exact advertising that is in Stamford Bridge today, put it in the game, etc. So again, we want to make sure that by adding in-game advertising, we enhance the game player's experience and their sort of reality of what they're doing. Financial strength, obviously, if you're doing all of these right, you've got engaged teams, challenging, being creative, producing world-class quality products, those great games, launching in all these different areas we talked about with online, microtransactions, in-game advertising, your financial strength and your operating plan falls into place naturally. So again, we have to be sensible in what we spend, and some of you know, obviously we're a massive company and we're doing well financially, but to do even better financially, we have to watch and target our resources effectively. So here are some of the global releases that we're focusing on this year. You can see there some of the releases, some have been launched and some are coming out later in the year. So you've got Army of Two, Battlefield 2142, Command & Conquer 3, Tiberian Wars, Crisis, Def Jam, Lord of the Rings, Madden, FIFAs, Football Spore, Superman Returns, a new Burnout, Burnout 5. These are just some of the things that are currently in development or have been released. So again, in a year which is known for transition, i.e. new consoles are launching and people are waiting to see whether they want to buy one, quality of the products, we've got an exceptionally strong portfolio there to put us out into the wider marketplace. So let's focus a little bit on online. So we have something called Pogo. Have any of you guys seen it? Very popular out in America and Canada. We're now launching this throughout Europe and through Asia. So this is all about online gaming. This is creating games which are almost, quick and easy games that female gamers may like, gamers who want to spend a little quick snapshot of games, etc. in their lunch hour, get that gaming experience. So this is the most popular online gaming destination. 11 million unique users per month. That's quite massive. So that shows that gaming, again, is spreading its sort of feel. And it's a great sticky, let's use that term, a sticky internet site, with the average gamer playing 60 minutes on terms of one of the game. And you can see here some of the games. You've got different things like checkers, chess, cribbage. You've got little golf games. You've got various little sort of gaming, gambling type things, etc. All things in terms of which add that sort of feel that you can get a quick snapshot of that sort of gaming experience. So if you look here, what is critical when creating this online gaming site is that you can actually compel and produce great gaming experience people if they have a subscription with you. So again, by having a subscription, what does this mean? From the revenues that we have, we can again put these revenues in and create more compelling gameplay experiences. So people who pay a subscription can play exclusive games. They can get exclusive content, no advert interruptions. They're going to get more of a tighter community of active game players they can get to know and to trust. And there we also put bigger prizes on and have more plays to sort of different ways to play and win. So online gaming and Pogo, that's something to look out for as we launch that in Europe and within Asia. So one of our latest recruits, Steven Spielberg. So he's a great man in really being very evangelical about this industry. He loves games. He was one of the originators of the Medal of Honor franchise and produced some of the most compelling films in this century. He's now working with us on 3 new game ideas. So again, I know some of you are itching to know. I can't tell you about those today, except to say that they are awesome. Okay, sorry, I can't give you more information. He also works with us in making sure that the entertainment industry continues to attract and develop the right talent. So if you look at, in particularly, things like the USC, which is the university in Central America, which focuses on interactive entertainment, and it has a special degree focused on that. Stephen's actually spent time helping and developing that particular university develop its course, and hence developing individuals who can be employed not only by EA but other people within the entertainment field. So he's been very, very pivotal in helping develop new talent for us. So how do we do it? We are not an arrogant organisation. We've spoken about revenues being #1, creating world-class quality games. How do we do that? Through you guys, through the people. So we have to make sure that you guys have a great experience here. So that's not only making sure the manager stays connected with you, talking about your development, how you're doing, whether you're enjoying things, what else can make it more compelling for you here. It's also looking at having fun. So what does that mean? We all have fun, we play games, there's five-a-side football, there's a gym, there's a great restaurant, all those sorts of things add up to the experience. Critically, because we spend so much time at work, we have to make sure that we enjoy it. So hopefully you'll get to see, and a number of you I know that who have already all joined us, who are nodding, it's a great place to work. And we're not arrogant, we know we have to continue to develop, that there are particularly issues. You may have seen things like EA spouse. So this is an issue whereby a spouse of somebody who worked at EA worked a lot of hours. She obviously got frustrated because she didn't see as much of him, and so decided to put it up on a website, some of her frustrations. And so again, what I would say, and I really like to address this issue, is that we are a project deadline-led industry. So it's not only EA, it's film, IT, mobile. When you're launching a product and you have an end date, then working hours can tend to increase towards the end of a project. And what we found, let's say, if we look at burnout, is that we were creating a great game, phenomenal game, and people got more and more excited as we came up to the release date and tried to add in more content. I know how we can make this even better. Let's put this in, let's put that in, and they're getting and working and trying to get it in to make that perfect gaming experience. So again, you can see there from the sort of the way that you look at things, our job is to make sure we learn, not saying things are perfect, how we can reduce the number of hours towards the end of a project. And so by doing that is through closely managing the pre-production phase, having strong, effective scheduling, and locking down the game design at the earliest possible time. So we're learning, and I think that when you look at it, a lot of industries are also learning how to do this, but at the end of the day, the key thing is that we've identified strong ways of how to take this forward. So, if you guys are enjoying what you're doing, you're having a great experience, you're making great games, key for us is because we're expanding, not only here, but in Europe, Asia, America, etc., is that you recommend your former colleagues and your friends to come and join us and obviously have that great gameplay experience. And to make that an even more compelling opportunity, we have a referral scheme that pays you a bonus for somebody coming into the business. So, great position to be in. So, this is our current headquarters here in Chertsey's for the studio. We're moving to a new building called Onslow House, which is in Guildford, and we're aiming to do that early next year. Again, we've got some rough plans and rough ideas of how the studio's looking, but I'm not going to show you those because it's going to be more fun when you actually get to go into the building. So, the UK studio. A lot of information coming to you today, but these are the key leaders who are taking this studio forward within Europe. Fiona Sperry is the general manager heading up this studio here. So critically for us, she knows how to develop new, great creative games. She's the person that's responsible for working and launching Burnout and Black, so she knows that success. She's now looking after the whole studio, adding in looking after Harry Potter, but also a number of new games, different, innovative new games that we're adding to our portfolio. So Fiona is well placed to take our studio forward. Our Chief Operating Officer, looking at our operational plan, David Byrne, been here for a number of years and knows the studio network like the back of his hand. Sue Ifield, our HR Director, great people person. I don't think you'll find a person more engaging than Sue, of listening and sorting out any problems that you have. So again, people issues at the forefront of Sue's mind as our HR Director. John Ward, the man who looks after the bean counters, is our Chief Financial Officer. Superb job for us, and make sure that not only are we producing great games, that they're earning the revenue that they should be and that our costs are kept down. So our key creative leaders, who are they? Alex Ward, so creative genius, the guy that actually came up with the concept of Burnout and taken that into one of the best races in the world today. Also came up with the concept of Black. So a man that's really a bit of a creative legend within the UK industry. So again, looking at new, different creative ideas of how to take the studio forward. Harvey Elliott. Harvey looks after the Harry Potter franchise. He's called an executive producer. What does that mean? It's a bit like a film director or a managing director of that franchise. So he looks after all of the franchises related to Harry Potter. Great guy. Rob O'Farrell looks after Fusion. Fusion is our handheld gaming area, and if you look at that, that includes the PlayStation Portable and the Nintendo DS. He's also looking after one of our new creative original IPs. Sorry, I can't tell you more today. Unfortunately, Pete Hawley, the man that's proving elusive to get a photo of, is our executive producer. He looks after Black. So again, he's come from Sony, great guy, got some great ideas of how, with the support of Alex as the creative director, to take that franchise forward. So publishing, the sales and marketing area, how does that sort of work? So critical for us is that our publishing area has offices across Europe. So what does that mean? We have to make sure that our games are localised. So if we're producing a game, let's say FIFA, in France, rather than having a Wayne Rooney on the cover, we're going to make sure that it's localised and it has the right language in it for that particular territory and has a personality behind it that appeals to the French people. Zinedine Zidane, great legend in his time, has been on the cover of many FIFA games. One of the greatest footballers in the world, even today by my measures. So again, they're looking at that in terms of the sales. How do we actually sell it to the people in that particular country? So it's going to be different from Italy, Spain, up into the Nordics, etc., even to the UK. Publishing's job is to make sure our games effectively are distributed, are sold and marketed correctly in each region. So these are the leaders in there. Gerhard Florin is our head of publishing, based in Geneva. Been with the business and grown up with it for many years, and again, knows it inside out and has been a legend in terms of taking us forward. Jan Boltz heads up our sales and marketing for publishing across Europe. Charlie Power is our head of finance. Jens Intat heads up European sales and distribution. And for HR, we're blessed to have Andrew Del Kemper, who's joined us from America, and again is taking those people issues forward. People issues and making sure you guys have a great experience when you work here. So what are the values of EA? We have something called our action values. These are shared globally across studio and publishing. They date right back to the 1980s, so they're pretty much ingrained into ourselves. And we continue to grow. We want to make sure that our action values are the foundation of the sort of the culture of EA. And they provide that framework for assessing how people are doing in their business. So when you have a performance appraisal, we judge that against the action values. What are those values? So, interestingly, it all matches up to the word action. A is for achievement, making sure we have a real meritocracy. So this is not about senior exec, graduate. Everybody is around on the same level and can talk and access each person. Customer satisfaction, building those relationships and getting feedback. Not only from our customers, but internally we feed back to each other. Teamwork. Great leaders can lead, but they need teams to follow forward and be interactive with them. So, again, make sure we communicate and we think as a global team. Ownership. Individuals can perform best when they take ownership, responsibility and have autonomy to act. And again, within that, you can express yourself within the right time management system. So again, take ownership, drive and challenge. And now, making sure people have a sense of urgency. Don't put off today and try and do it tomorrow. Do it now. Drive it forward. Make it a priority. Live these values. They are what EA is all about. Passionate about making great games and passionate about the people that we work with. So, what do we do outside of the work? How do we care about the community? So critical for us is we have something called EA Cares, founded in 2003, and the mission is to look after children, critical to us, looking after children in the local community and making a real difference. It's not about spreading ourselves across a number of charities so we don't get to touch them. Working locally with select charities and institutions. So in the UK we work with St Peter's Hospital just up the road, particularly focused on their sort of children's ward and looking after and helping those children. So again, there's some charities here, and again, Surrey Young Carers, the White Lodge, the Man in the Moon. They're just a number of areas we hope to make a difference. So we have people that are dedicated internally of looking after our caring side and putting a little bit back into the community that we represent. So the fun stuff. What do we do for a bit of fun? So we've talked about the restaurant, the five-a-side football pitch, etc. We have a games library whereby, again, you get 12 free games a year. So that's a great position to be in. And then you get EA games discounted at a heavily discounted price. And again, which is great when you've got the next generation consoles, you can get a game at a very cheap price. So you can go down there, there's a library of games, videos, etc. And there's actually sort of merchandise that you can get and actually sort of go around and wear with the EA branded stuff. The sports facilities, we said we've got a gym, we've got a five-a-side football pitch, we have leagues running on that, people play netball, great thing. Yeah, okay, yeah, you love it. So again, that's open 24 hours, our facility. We've got great facilities because critical to that, we feel it makes you more creative and engaged. So, we've got the coffee bar, open till 8 till 6, the restaurant where you can get breakfast and lunch, producing great food. the games room downstairs and arcade machines whereby you can go and play foosball, table football, you can go on the old arcade games, etc. Again, just add to the whole culture. We're passionate about making great games, we want you to be. So, critical to this is managing your career. Learning and development is key to making sure that if your abilities are there, with training and development, we want to get you up to there as soon as possible. So, the career management cycle. Critical for this, you've got to know what you want to do and the direction that your career is going to take. What we need to do to help you develop to your full capacity. Then we will evaluate your performance, but be very open in how we actually evaluate that. So you know, nothing's a surprise when it comes to your annual performance appraisal, because you've had a series of O's and A's, objectives and achievements, that you'll actually know then, yep, this is done on a quarterly basis. When it comes to your appraisal, you know exactly what the appraisal is going to actually produce. And get recognised. Key to it, if you do a great job, let's make sure everybody in the business knows you've done a great job. So let's praise people. That's critical to actually making a great game, motivating you guys, give you the praise. At the end of the day, that makes us number one. So here is a very complex career management cycle. So this, I'm not going to take you through too much of this, but it just shows that we place an emphasis on working with you to develop your career. Once we know exactly the way that we want to help you take your career forward, which is driven by you, we can work out the development plans, the coaching plans, the training and development to take you through here, monitoring the performance, making sure you get feedback from your mentor or manager. And then this all leads in. You do a great job, you're fairly compensated for it. What does fairly mean? You can get an above target performance rating, and then you get a stronger bonus, and you can get a stronger salary review. We want to make sure we grow people from within. So people around this table now, at the end of the day, we could have the next general manager sitting over here. We don't know. We need to make sure that we develop you and then fairly remunerate you and retain you moving forward. So this flowchart hopefully gives you an idea of how serious we are about your career. Managing your career. So what do you expect within the first period? So you join a new organisation, as some of you are, a bit nervous, what are you going to do? So the first 90 days, you have a little review. So 30, 60, 90 days, you'll set some very basic objectives. So within the first 30 days, get to know EA, get to know your manager, find out about the business from the internet, etc. Then we start to build up some more deliverables. So within that first 90 days, you know if you've been successful, and you know exactly how you want to continue developing. And that brings you, with your objectives and achievements, closer to your manager and closer to your team, so you know you're doing a great job. Critical to this is this whole personal development planning cycle. So again, linked in with all the different forms of objectives, not going into it all today, but you can see there, hopefully, that we aim to provide the maximum opportunities for you guys to get the best from your careers. So, the interesting thing for us is that we need to make sure that we can fully help in terms of training and development. So what do we have? Within the studio, we have Sanjay Mistry. He's our dedicated art and graphics trainer. So he can spend time with the artist, either one-on-one, in groups, or with a larger, bigger group, and train on the latest developments and making sure you bring up to speed. Then if you also look at, we have a dedicated trainer in programming, Martin Usoa, again, can help in that area. So the EA University, we have on-site training and external training, which hopefully, as you can see, will help develop your career. In terms of, again, sharing knowledge, we have something called EA Knowledge. We have a number of studios around the world. We all pool into this intranet site and share best practices, best learning and development. So again, a key resource for us moving forward. And again, it's up to you to help develop new content, share your learning experiences, put it on for others around the world, so we don't have to keep relearning the same sort of wheel and going through the same experiences. As a global organisation, we can work on things together. So that hopefully gives you a good flavour today of what we're about at EA. So the advice I would give you be passionate, be strong, be creative, and to challenge. Challenge everything. And by that way, you'll get the best from your time at EA. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Again, welcome to EA. Thank you.